So we're here on the Beara Peninsula outside Castletownbere, and we're at the site of the old Dunboy Castle. Originally a stronghold of the O'Sullivan Beara clan, Dunboy Castle was built in the 15th century to guard and defend the harbour of Bearhaven. Its presence enabled O'Sullivan Beara family, including Donald Cam O'Sullivan Beara, a Gaelic clan leader and chief of Dunboy, to control the sea fisheries off the Irish coast and collect taxes from Irish and continental European fishing vessels sheltering in the haven. It was also a centre for the import and export trade to and from the continent. In the summer of 1602, during the 9 Years' War, Dunboy Castle was the scene of the noted siege of Dunboy, which ultimately led to the castle's destruction and the break-in of the power of the O'Sullivan Beara. At that time, Donald Cam O'Sullivan Beara was in rebellion against the English crown, and Elizabeth I had sent a 5,000-strong army under the command of Sir George Carew to suppress the insurgents. Even with its small garrison of 143 men, Dunboy Castle was thought to be impregnable, but following a fierce artillery bombardment, the walls were smashed, and after some desperate hand-to-hand fighting amid the rubble, the defenders were finally overcome. The 58 survivors of the 2-week siege were executed in the nearby Market Square. The remains of the castle were left to ruin until the 17th century, when a bastion fort was built on the site. Both the 15th century castle and the 17th century fort were surveyed by archaeologist Edward M. Fahey in the late 1960s. If the walls of the ruins of this 16th century Dunboy Castle could talk, I'm sure there would be grisly tales to tell. So this is the site of the old Dunboy Castle, folks. It's situated on the Beara Peninsula in West Cork. We're climbing the stairs of history. Descending the stairs of history is a different matter. We don't have any guardrails or protective fences or signs, so one has to be awfully careful. But the grass and underfoot is dry, so we've reached the destination, being the floor. If you're ever down in the Beara Peninsula and come through Castletownbere, go out the road as if you were heading for Allihies, and about 2 miles on the left hand side there's the ruins of an old castle, rather hidden in dense trees and bushes. And get your bum over here and have a look. Now here in the wall we have some signs in memory of Friar Dominic Collins, who served here in defence of Dunboy, martyred for his faith in Youghal in 1602, beatified in Rome, and then in memory of the warriors who fell at Dunboy for their country and faith in June 1602. And then we have another one that says, this plaque was erected by the O'Sullivan clan, Beara Tourism and the Beara Historical Society to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the siege of Dunboy. So there's a bloody history and past around here. Near the castle ruins stands Puxley Mansion, also known as Puxley Castle, a 19th century manor house. It was burned by the IRA in 1920 in reprisal for the destruction of houses that harboured IRA men and weapons by the Crown forces. While some restoration work was completed in the 2000s, funding issues halted plans to refurbish the mansion and open it as a hotel. Also known as Dunboy Castle, the refurbished manor house was reportedly sold in March 2022. Property developer Paddy McKillen Jr. acquired Dunboy Castle. It was to operate as a 6-star resort complex when completed and launched. While no purchase price was confirmed, Dunboy Castle was on the market for $2.5 million. The 84-bedroomed, 120,000 square foot castle is located on 40 acres of land overlooking Bantry Bay. The Dunboy Resort never opened, with its launch by its previous owners stalled by the global financial crisis more than 10 years ago, despite millions having been spent and invested. Well now folks, do you remember what I keep telling you? To get out and about in the great outdoors in this wonderful country of ours and savour the delights of the West Cork Peninsula. And the weather again today for Kate and I is just stunning. Now, bad weather forecast, serious weather forecast, but as yet in the extremities of the Beara Peninsula we haven't encountered anything like what's been forecasted, and to be quite honest, we don't want. So we're here at the site of Dunboy Castle, the homestead of the O'Sullivan clan. We're here on a windswept peninsula right now. We're here at Allihies, where all the copper mining was done many years ago. So we're having a look around here. It's not a place to be wandering around at will, because a lot of these shafts are still open in the ground, and I don't want to fall down 200-300 feet into the bowels of the Irish countryside. From the Bronze Age, the area around here had been a site of copper mining. The Allihies copper mines were discovered by Colonel Hall in 1810, who informed John Laval and Puxley, or better known locally as Copper John, of this. In 1812, Copper John established a company to operate the Bearhaven mines at Allihies. During the following century, between 1812 and 1912, 297,000 tonnes of ore were recorded as passing through Swansea from Allihies mines. There are 3 Cornish engine houses visible from Allihies. The most prominent is the Mountain Mineman engine house, located on the mountain above the village, and installed by the noted Cornish engineers Michael Loam and Son in 1862. Following a resulting fall in the worldwide price of copper, the Allihies mine closed in 1884. The area then saw large-scale immigration, as many of the miners who left Allihies found their way to newly developing mining centres in the United States, such as Butte, Montana, where many families traced their roots back to Allihies and the Beara Peninsula in West Cork. Mining attempts in the 1950s and the 1960s proved worthless, and the mines still remain abandoned to this day. The Mountain Mine Engine House has recently undergone conservation by the Mining Heritage Trust of Ireland. In 1812, mining began at Duneen by John Puxley. In 1813, there were 30 employees, and 2 barrels of porter were bought for christening of the mountain mine. In 1815, there were 300 employees at the mine. In 1820, the mine had 500 employees, and the company buys in potatoes to sell at cost to employees after their money loses all value when a bank collapses. In 1821, Dunboy Castle was first extended. In 1822, 500 employees were employed at the mine. Famine leads to doting in Cork and Kerry, and the government restricts gunpowder supply. In 1824, the road between Castletown and Allihies is made accessible for horses. In 1831, the mines had 1,000 employees. In 1832, cholera comes to the mines, and there are several deaths. The miners take fright and stay away. In 1836, Cornish Village School built. In 1838, there were more than 1,000 employees. In 1842, 1,600 employees, police barracks was built in Allihies village. In 1845, mine masons built a Protestant chapel at the southern end of Allihies village. A Roman Catholic church in Allihies village built the same year. And the Great Famine begins. In 1846, provisions bought in by the company to offset effects of famine. The mines make a loss. In 1847, 500 to 1,500 employees were employed. Provisions bought in by company to offset the effects of famine, and the mine makes a loss again. In 1850, 1,200 employees. Puxley's schooner, the Miner, is lost at sea. In 1853, 1,000 employees and 7 mine captains. Production was 425 tons per month. In 1884, the Bearhaven Mine Company had only 10 employees and was wound up. And in 1885, all the mine plant and machinery is auctioned off. Taken you to many places over the years, many places, but even here in our home now, the Emerald Isle, there's so much to see, so many places to do, and okay, the weather might not be too kind, quite a lot of the time, but if you don't mind weather and you don't mind climatic conditions and you want to see this country in all its majesty and all its beauty and all its ruggedness, this is the country to get out and about and see. It is God's own country. Well, to me it is anyway. Take a look at the majestic scenery right behind me there. Looking out towards the islands of West Cork, Dursey Island, an island that I traversed and walked for 6 hours in 27 degrees last June and thoroughly enjoyed. Looking across here at another mining shaft, and I can see the sunbeams dancing across a barren landscape, cloud descending from above on the high peaks. And as I said earlier, there is a rather serious thunderstorm forecast for later on this evening. But standing here in shorts, though the fleas have been on hiding the microphone, which I hope this video, the audio is coming through, you can see why people come to the Emerald Isle. I've taken you many places over many years, and this one hasn't hopefully failed your expectations, because it is a wild, rugged but beautiful place with scenery to die for.